Good Friday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Congratulations, you made it to Friday. The weekend is here. I could probably say this is the best day of the week. By far and away, there might be a few little hiccups with the fog. In fact, you'll see that here momentarily. There it is, the fog. Oh yes, we've got some fog. Visibility down to 0 in Sevierville. Oh, we've got visibility down to 1 mile in Oneida and perhaps throughout parts of the Smokies. But by and large, this day is going to be the glorious day of all the 7 in the next 7 days because the humidity is going to be low. And you might be not convinced that that is the case because I want to show you what's going on. We have a very slow moving system that has maybe delayed some communities as far as the dew points dropping, but that's coming up next. Visibility, again, down to 0 in Jonesville, in Oneida. And you can see it's changing now to 0 in Oneida, 1 mile visibility there in Sevierville. So if you have some patches of dense fog, let me know. I'd love to see and hear some of your weather reports. I'm both on Facebook and YouTube, so let me know what you're seeing. But again, visibility at the airport, not a problem. 10 miles visibility is okay, but you may find some pockets of dense fog on some outside of the county, outside of Knox County, for example. But look at the temperatures. 10-degree difference between Jacksboro in Campbell County and Knox County, 67. There's got to be something going on here. Yes, the front that came through has been slowly bringing down with a northwesterly wind the dew points. But you'll see temperatures are 58 in Wartburg. And then when you look at the dew points, we can just pull out our telestrator because you can see where the changes have taken place. It's still humid where you see some 60s. Right? So from here to here, back toward Greenville, Morristown, and anyone that's over here and over here and over here is feeling much better. Dew points have dropped into the 50s, so there are some pockets of East Tennessee that feel better than they did yesterday morning, comparably. But here in town, it's still in the mid-60s. But this will drop throughout the day, and just wanted to say good morning to you. We're going to talk about the rain situation. For some of you that might have had some rain, you might have seen that. Let me take a look at some comments that might be coming in. Fred says, good morning, David. It's a clear 65 in Maryville. Thank you for that update, Fred. Fred's giving us an update in Blount County. What kind of observation do you have? Because you can clearly see our values in terms of humidity vary from 50s and 60s, where it's 60s, we're still pretty sticky. But that's changing dramatically north and west of Oak Ridge at this particular time. I want to jump ahead to the ultimate Doppler radar. We had some pop-up showers, especially in the foothills and Smokies, even Knox County late last night. A few little flare-ups, as it were. But you can see from the ultimate Doppler radar presented by Marco's Pizza, there's nothing going on here. So let's rewind the tape. Let's rewind the radar, as it were, over the last 12 hours. Look at what happened around 8 o'clock. A couple of showers in Union County, then watch Knox. Watch Knox, boom, right? A little downpour right there through areas around, maybe around Fountain City. Came right through Gatlinburg. It was like out of nowhere. It started to rain again. And so, as I mentioned, this system was slow to get in here, slow to get out. There were pockets that showed up late last night. And now things have finally dried out, but the fog may remain and the humidity will continue to fall and cascade through the rest of the morning. But let's rewind this one more time. Ready to look at Knox County right around, was it 9:30? No, definitely 10:30, came right through town and just north of Maryville as well. Gatlinburg getting some rain at this particular time. By the way, Marco's Pizza, my sponsor for the Ultimate Doppler Radar, presented by your local Marco's Pizza. You can find them in Hardin Valley and Farragut. They're located in Maryville, Fountain City. You can find a Marco's in Halls, Oak Ridge, as well as Middlebrook Pike and Ebenezer Road. Now under new ownership, new leadership, better than ever. They're also a corporate sponsor of No Kid Hungry, and you may be hungry for a pepperoni magnifico later today, or perhaps for lunch, a new Pozzoli. I can recommend the pepperoni and sausage. It's delicious, and it's for less than $6. Pretty cool if you're looking for a lunch idea. By the way, the radar shows more rain across the Great Lakes. Last I checked, there were count them, two tornadoes yesterday, land spouts in Florida. So that was pretty much where most of the activity was, and they're still dealing with excessive heat in Arizona. Now, that's Maricopa County. Now you say, well, Arizona's used to the heat, but this is like excessive heat for them. And it moves into parts of California as well, San Bernardino, California. Their county is certainly under excessive heat, while we're going to continue to see maybe things trend the other direction. Future rainfall, nothing to see today, yay, and nothing to see tonight, because I'll see a lot of stars. But once we move into Sunday, and I'd say probably closer to 5 in the morning, Sunday, things start to fill in from the north and west. There's 7 a.m. But you can see it populates. And some of the light green areas would represent about a ½ inch. I'm looking at Oneida, about maybe a third of an inch projected there in La Follette. Again, this isn't gospel. It's just some guidance, some ideas of how much rain will fall. It's not going to be a flooding rain, not by any stretch. But I still think there's at least a 60% chance that we get some rain showers and storms on Sunday. Tracking the clouds, there aren't too many of those. As we mentioned, the radar has been pretty active maybe in other parts of the country, but not necessarily here, so we'll keep it dry for now. Checking in with you, Danny says, good morning, David. He says, go Vols. David, hope you have a wonderful day. Big baseball game today, absolutely, and hopefully Go Vols will be victorious by the end of the day, and they've got a great weather day for it. I mean, if you got tickets, you're going to the game, you're going to be pleased with what you find weather-wise because humidity will be dropping. It's not necessarily dropped so far, but it will as the morning wears on. Nothing to see around the state, so definitely enjoy the weather. And then tracking the clouds, maybe a few extra clouds across parts of West Virginia, North Carolina, and also South Carolina, but that's all moving away. Just wanted to recap. It is now 6:45 if you're just joining me. Big difference in temperature. From 57 Jacksboro, 10 degrees warmer in Knoxville, 67, and it's 63 in Morristown. I was expecting a low around 62. We got below that if you're in Rockwood, but we're still close to that in Oak Ridge and Maryville, suggested they're in the low to mid-60s. About 66 currently in Newport, 55 in Oneida. Speaking of Oneida, visibility very poor. We've got some zeros there. Also a 1 mile visibility there between Sevierville and the Smokies, and 0 there in Jonesville. As I mentioned, the dew points have dropped, but not in all places where you see some low to mid 50s like Crossville, like Jamestown. It feels a lot better, and that also will be coming in here, especially tonight, because lows tonight should be around 57 for Knoxville. What a difference this map looks, right? Any yellow area would be comfortable. Where you see some green, not so comfortable. So we'll often show this in the element of the ooze. The dew points, again, in the 60s have moved away in many parts of the state, like Nashville, like Jamestown. They've moved back into the 50s, but we're still holding on to those mid-60s. And the humidity was tracking to get out of here for this morning, but at midday should be south of Atlanta and should continue to work its way out of the picture. But lo and behold, it comes back. You know it would. If it doesn't arrive Saturday afternoon, certainly by Sunday, it will start to turn more humid as we bring in more rain showers and possibly some thunderstorms to greet you on Sunday itself. So that's the way the humidity looks. We don't have much wind now, but I fully suspect the winds will pick up about 5 to 15. They'll be coming from the northwest after the fog and the light winds. They're light and variable now, as you can see, zeros. But once the winds start to stir, the prevailing wind should be from the northwest, and that should drop the dew points even further. Temperatures right now in Nashville, 64. Johnson City, also 64. Chattanooga at 73. So I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. Just want to get you to the forecast map, and then we'll check some questions and comments. But this is where we're going to be today. Sun came up at 6:20. We've added another minute to the sunset time. Yay, and there should be no rain there. That's a graphical typographical error. No rain today, but sun will be setting at 8:51. So June 7th, we're out the door, and I think you're going to be pleased. Temperature should be around 73 at 10. And about 80 degrees by 2 o'clock. Not bad. I'd say a pretty sweet day, but big difference. Like 5-degree difference from, say, Crossville, 77, 82 for Oak Ridge, 82 in Knoxville. I mean, if Knoxville hit 83, it wouldn't surprise me. It'll be warm, but with the dropping dew points, I think you're going to find it much more comfortable and much more delightful. A good hair day will be developing where it hasn't necessarily developed in Knox County just yet, but it will over time. I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call, Danny and Fred. If you're on YouTube, drop me a note. I got Steve Stone. He's got the smiley face. Good to see you here. He's got his sunshine. I thought I'd wear a shirt that would be reflective, like that word, of the weather. Since it's going to be nice and bright, thought I'd wear a little bit of yellow today to get you in the mindset that today is the best day of the week. By far, I think this is the best day of the week. Why? Because we're in the low 80s, but it's a more comfortable low 80s. Yesterday we hit 83. In fact, I've got the notes to back it up. Yesterday we hit 83, started off at 69. Normal high and low, 84, 63. Well, record high is 99 from 1933. Oh, not going to be that warm. And we've dropped as low as 47 on this date back in 1998 as well as 1894. So just gives you some ideas. I mentioned there were 2 tornadoes, 2 landspouts there in Florida. But as far as today is concerned, if this is a slice of nice, I hope you'll take advantage of it fully. 7-day outlook from the National Hurricane Center shows nothing. This is day 7 of a 183-day hurricane season that runs from June 1st to November 30th. As we've mentioned before, usually peaks in August and September, but it wouldn't surprise me if we get some development or areas of interest before the end of this month. Less humid today and tonight. Boy, is it going to feel good tonight if it hasn't already. Feeling where you are. I have some drizzle, possible, maybe a spot of rain for southeast Kentucky on Saturday. And then showers and storms increase on Sunday, about a 60% chance it will be unsettled for sure. We're currently here at 6:50 at 67 degrees. I thought it was supposed to be less humid. Give it a few more hours. Humidity will be dropping. Temperatures will be rising. It's kind of like when you're driving stick shift, right? You have your foot on the clutch, you got your foot on the gas, and you're up and down. So the temperature is going to go up, dew points are going to fall down, and you're going to say, hey, it actually feels pretty good. It's not just the heat, it's also the humidity. Our friends in the plateau are already in the 50s for dew points at this hour. Here's my Valley Planner, 77 by lunchtime. Boy, I tell you what, if you haven't made lunch plans, I suggested Marco's Pizza, which is a fantastic choice. But if you're not eating it outside, you're missing out, because it'll be mostly sunny and delightful. Should finish the day generally in the low, possibly mid-80s. That's certainly on the table. No rain expected today. I wouldn't even put a percentage on it for Saturday because I got some drizzle. But a chance of rain coming back in early next week, still questionable, as the models are still trying to battle out where that rain develops. I want to talk about heat. I indicated this or touched on it last night. If you saw my video last night, a lot of this will make sense. But we had 3 days in the mid to upper 80s back in May. That's the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Think of this as the extended almanac from May of 2024. I point this out because these are the hottest days of the year so far. Don't expect it to get that hot today, but if you're looking for 90s, and there are those that have a jet ski or a boat or like to hang out by the neighborhood pool, I want 90s. For those of you that might be like that, Craig Slavin, he's a fan of hot weather. If you are a fan, you have to look in your rearview mirror, because the hottest days we've experienced so far has not come in June, but it's come in May, 3 days in a row at 87. Now, as far as 90s, I did the calculations for you. The average is 34, meaning that we typically see, not always, but typically see around 34 days at 90 or higher each and every summer. We can include much of September in that as well. So it's basically the entire calendar year from May to September. We could get some 90-degree days. Now, we had only 18 last year. So if you do the math, if we had 17, that'd be half of 34. It was like we had a half a summer, essentially a little more than a half a summer last year. But the year before, it was 41 days. And the year before that, it was 41 days. This type of thing just ebbs and flows. So if you want to know, we've had 0 so far this year. And if you look at the most ever recorded, 78 days back during the Dust Bowl era of 1936. When I moved here, when I was recruited to move here for a job, 2010, we had 77 whopping days. And people thought, oh, the end of the world's coming. And I said, well, hold the phone. Because by the time we got to 2013, it was so rainy, we barely mustered 11. And I think the lowest ever, I think, was 5. I'll have to double check that, and I'll post it in the comments. But yeah, 5 days. Can you imagine a summer with only 5 days of 90? You'd feel really cheated if you just invested money in a watercraft, in a boat, or even in a canoe, right? Or a kayak, you say, or stand-up paddleboard. I didn't get much use out of it when there's that few 90s. But it does go back and forth. 2017 was just like last year. We had 18 days of 90 or higher in McGee Tyson, and we had 18 days last year. So 76 and 2016, it just goes back and forth, and it looks a lot like maybe if you were looking at the tide at the beach, right? Low tide in the morning, high tide in the afternoon. It goes back and forth. That's kind of how Mother Nature works. Is this a surprise to you? Probably not. But just wanted to show you some of the data that I've done the research from our friends at the National Weather Service. I could not pull these numbers out of thin air. This data does come from our friends at the National Weather Service of Morristown. And again, for Knoxville, we had only 18 days at 90. So far, we've had 0. If you're on the call, just want to say good morning to you. Steve Stone saying good morning. Got my bright yellow shirt on. Fred says, y'all have a safe and blessed weekend. Go Vols baseball. Janet, she says 63 in Talbot. Everyone have a wonderful day. Go Vols. Absolutely. And Marilyn Bell saying good morning, everyone. Mow that grass today and enjoy the sunshine if you can handle, right? If you're allergic to grass pollen, that might not be the easiest thing to do. Easier said than done, but I like where Marilyn is thinking, because I might have to get to the lawn before today or tomorrow is through. Futurecast shows a lack of 90-degree weather because the cool air aloft is just pouring down from Canada and the Great Lakes. Where you see green at 5,000 feet would suggest cooler than average, maybe less humid air, and it goes back to yellow by Sunday with some rain showers. But watch this, it gets reloaded. All that blue air around Omaha and St. Louis, where does it settle by the 11th? That's the 11th, that's Tuesday, and then we head into maybe early Wednesday morning. It's not indicative of a typical June pattern. This would not scream at me, hey, we're going to 90 plus, because we're not. The hottest day of last year was 94. We did that last year, but we did that on the 28th of July and the 25th, 27th of August. So we had 3 times we hit 94. But it wasn't that hot when you think about it when we look at 2023. And so far, we're off to a slow start in 2024. By the way, it's 6:55. Thankful for your time here. I want to get to the Storm Prediction Center maps because some of you might be on the road. You might have some loved ones that are outside of the state. You might have cousins, aunts, uncles, maybe mother-in-law, father-in-law, who knows, on the road. And if they are traveling, it's Lincoln, Nebraska, and it's around Kansas City, where they may have some scattered severe storms in yellow, isolated severe storms around Wichita, Kansas, but nothing in the state of Tennessee expected to reach. No thunder expected here today. Once we move into Saturday, that changes, especially Saturday night, and I'd say around 5 in the morning. We have the potential to see some showers and storms come in from the northwest, but for Saturday proper, it looks like Tulsa. Looks like St. Louis and Kansas City may have some isolated severe storms there. In Tennessee, just north of Jackson, certainly Jonesboro would be colored in dark green there, but for us, it's really Knoxville northwest. And this, again, takes us into the 8 o'clock time frame on Sunday morning, so it will be coming in from the north and west. By Sunday, there is nothing severe expected in Tennessee, but there will be a patch of maybe isolated severe storms in Idaho Falls, parts of Utah, and then back toward Denver, Amarillo, Texas, back home. We just have some general thunderstorms anticipated for the end of the weekend. So if you don't get out and enjoy today, you're missing out, and I don't want you to miss out. High pressure will be our fair weather friend as it moves across Memphis. We're going to continue under the northwesterly winds, about 5 to 15. Tonight, plenty of stars. Most of the rain traveling along the warm front seems like it goes from St. Louis to Louisville early tomorrow morning. And I suspect it's going to be moving into drier air, so it might just go poof. And I don't even think we'll get this much rain, maybe some drizzle, and maybe a passing shower for southeast Kentucky. It's really not until Sunday when the cold front begins to approach Bowling Green. We bring in some rain early Sunday morning, and it will be on and off throughout the afternoon. So be prepared for some rain coming into your neck of the woods before the weekend is through. And again, still some question marks of how far south does that warm front go. I don't expect rain to be an issue on Monday, at least not right now. Futurecast shows temperatures delightful by lunchtime today, as it's now 6:57. Can you imagine if it's 74 in Crossville at lunchtime? Now that's, granted, that's 11 a.m. Central, but still 74 Crossville around midday is pretty sweet. 77 Oak Ridge lunchtime. And if the humidity has dropped, which I suspect it will, if the dew points have fallen, which I suspect it will, it'll be a comfortable 77 in Oak Ridge and Maryville. And if we push 78 downtown, it's still much better feeling than it would have been, say, yesterday when the dew points were higher. Finishing the day generally in the low to mid 80s, I'd say about 82. But if we hit 83, it wouldn't surprise me. And then you can see tonight, very few clouds. We'll just describe it as plenty of stars, maybe a touch of fog in spots, but I think generally fog will not be a big issue. And then the rain here, I think, is will be more muted. This is just one solution, but it brings in some showers tomorrow. I think if it comes in, it's going to be drying up and going, essentially disappearing as it comes into town. Most of that, again, is all predicated on the movement of the warm front. So let's get to your forecast. Today, as we've hit 6:59, should be around 82, mostly sunny, a delightful day with the dropping of the dew points. It'll be a better hair day as the day wears on because the winds have to pick up. 5 to 15, those dew points will fall. For today, high of 82 in Oak Ridge, 81 Morristown, White Pine, Talbot, Dandridge, Jeff City, Kingston, 83, and could easily hit 84 in McMinn County in Athens, about a high of 77 for Oneida and Crossville. It will be hotter if you're traveling west. Nashville, 85, 88 in Memphis. They could easily be back in the low 90s for places like Columbia, South Carolina. But tonight, we're down in the mid to upper 50s. Plenty of stars. It will be cooler with less humidity and a sweet day when you factor in sweet night. There's hardly any wind. This will be one of those nights. On a Friday evening, that you might just want to sit on the porch and sip some iced tea. Maybe that'd be something consider. But you might have Friday night plans. And either way, I think you'll be pleased. 52 for a low in Middlesboro. Naturally, maybe some fog up there may form. But 59 for a low in Tellico Plains, 55 Wartburg, Oneida, and 58 for Newport. Now, as we look ahead to the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast, it's now 7 o'clock, straight up, finishing on time. Low 80s again on Saturday. I left some drizzle, maybe a spot of rain, but really the best chance of rain will come in Sunday. That's why today of all days is the best looking day of the week. Early next week, we are cooler on Tuesday, but there's still some question marks. Will the rain on Wednesday expand into Tuesday? We'll have to wait and see. And I still think the 87 on Thursday is suspect, just based on the data. We keep getting these impulses from the Northwest, from the Great Lakes, and from Canada. So this may be still having to be postponed. We'll have to wait to see if we get that warm. But when you look at this picture again, we're not all that hot, all things considered. By the way, with thunder coming back into the forecast for Sunday, it might be, I would suspect, be very helpful to have a weather app to give you that information. Talking about lightning alerts. The Captain Accurate weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic, that's weather and traffic, perfect together, gives you not only the best traffic reporter in town, but it also gives you at your fingertips all the National Weather Service alerts. They come to your phone, plus 3 extras, plus the lightning alerts become very helpful during summer when you might be at the pool, the lake, or heading maybe to the beach. If you're going to the beach, it does follow you with your location services on your phone. By the way, if you need more information, maybe you're interested in the 4th of July week, I've got all that information in and around my subscription side of the Ledger. We go beyond the next 7 days. We've been talking about the 4th of July for a couple of days now, as we're well into the early of July. You're also the first to see every forecast if you decide to be a premium member, which I would invite you to join us. We do more Facebook Lives, typically on a Sunday, to help you prepare for the week ahead. Plus, there are fewer ads. It is only $4.99 a month. You can cancel anytime. That works out to be about 16 cents a day. Very bargain. The best bargain of weather in East Tennessee, in my view, because you get all the information like my hurricane forecast that came out on St. Patrick's Day. My premium members, they're the most well-informed, in my view, because anything that comes to my mind, top of mind, they get first looks at. So if you want to check it out, I encourage you to try it, see if it is what you would like to check out. Anyway, thank you for your time. My name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.